MLB plays here on PrizePicks. There is a link in the description below to sign up for PrizePicks. PrizePicks matches 100% of your first deposit. I'm going to give 5 plays that I like in tonight's MLB slate. A ton of games, a ton of player props. Again, PrizePicks has added a bunch of new categories, to MLB. Runs and RBIs, walks allowed, earned runs allowed, pitches thrown, pitching outs, first inning runs allowed, first inning hits allowed. So a ton of new props. Super, super fun way to follow the game of baseball. But like I said, 5 plays that I like tonight's MLB slate. Last night, we went 2 for 3. Mookie Betts, I feel like, messed up a lot of people's lines. He had just been on a tear, and the Dodgers just did not play well last night as a whole team. Mookie Betts did not have any hits, but we hit on the Lucas Giolito over 5.5 strikeouts. We hit on the Paul Goldschmidt 7.5 fantasy score. I even had this play here that I missed on because of Mookie. This is a $10 play for 100, and I took the Cal Quantrill Taco, Lucas Giolito, Goldschmidt, and then Katie Lou Samuelson. I have 4 or 5 here. The Mookie really messed me up on both of these plays, but nonetheless, coming off a 2-3 night, looking to bounce back here tonight on the MLB slate. Like I said, 5 plays that I like. Again, I'm not a gambling expert. This is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only, in the plays that I am looking at making personally. But yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So the first play that I like tonight is going to be Nestor Cortez of the New York Yankees pitching against the Angels, and I like his over 17.5 strikeouts. So he would basically need to complete 6 innings pitched to hit this over here. And Nestor Cortez is having a terrific season. He's 4-1, 1.7 ERA, 61 strikeouts, 0.85 WHIP, which is 3rd in baseball. And you can see here, 6 innings pitched is what we need tonight. He's hit this in 3 of his last 5 starts. He's pitched 8 innings against the Tampa Bay Rays. Really, he just been pitching very, very well. Facing against the Angels do strike out a lot, so I think strikeouts could be a possible play here for Nestor Cortez, but I just love the pitching outs. They're definitely looking to ride him at least 6 innings. He pitched 5 innings in this game, but threw 100 pitches, 109, 99, 103. So has been consistently throwing 100 pitches pretty much every outing here, which is a very strong sign as far as pitching outs goes, projected pitching outs. Let's actually take a look really quickly at what his pitches thrown is. Pitches thrown is 97.5, so definitely all of these props I really like for Nestor Cortez. He has been pitching very well. I think people are adding him to their lines every time he pitches and has been hitting for them. So I love Nestor Cortez here, over 17.5 projected pitching outs. The next one is going to be a strikeouts prop, and we're looking at Kyle Wright over 5.5. Another pitcher here, Kyle Wright, who's been having an underrated season, definitely a very strong season, 4-3 with a 2.68 ERA, has 61 strikeouts on the year and a 1.04 WHIP. He's been striking batters out. All right, 5.5 is the line. He's had strikeouts of 5, 6, 9, 4, 3, and then had this month of April where he was going crazy. 6 strikeouts, 9, 11 strikeouts against the Miami Marlins, and then 8 strikeouts against the Cubs. So he's hit over 5.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in his 9 starts on the year. You love to see it. A line of 5.5, facing the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are a bottom 3 team in baseball, or a top 3 team in baseball as far as strikeouts per game. The Diamondbacks definitely do strike out a lot. I love the Kyle Wright line here of 5.5 strikeouts. I'm taking the over. The next one is going to be another strikeouts, and it's going to be a young phenom pitcher in Hunter Green. I got to take the over here as well. Now, I was tempted with Hunter Green. I was actually tempted to take walks allowed 2 for him, but the line is at 2. If it was at 1.5, I think I would for sure take the walks, but it being at 2, a little scary for me, just because he may or may not get pulled early. But for Hunter Green strikeouts, he doesn't need to pitch that many innings to get strikeouts. So you can see here, 5.5 is the line. He's hit this his last 6 starts. He's hit over 5.5, and it honestly is not even that many innings. 5 innings, 6 innings, 7.1, 5.1. In this game against the Brewers, he only pitched 2.2 innings and had 7 strikeouts. Means he struck out, of the 8 outs he got, he struck out 7 of them. So, I mean, he throws extremely hard. Hunter Green, phenom, not having a great year. Again, the run support isn't always there for him at 2.2 and 6 on the year, but a 5.89 ERA. But facing the Boston Red Sox, they do strike out a little more than I think people think. Obviously, a ton of power bats in that lineup. Facing a pitcher like Hunter Green, they're going to be swinging for the fences. So I think it will create a lot of opportunities for Hunter Green to get some strikeouts. I like the over here on Hunter Green, 5.5 strikeouts. And then another hit pitcher play that I like is Michael Kopech. His strikeouts over 4.5 as well. Michael Kopech, you can see you're having a decent season as well. I mean, he's actually having a good season. 1-1 with a 1.29 ERA. 4.5's the line, and he's hit this in his last 4 starts. He's hit this 3 of 4. Hit this in his 5. He's hit this 5 of 7 times. 5 of 8 times. Sorry, 5 of 8 times he's hit over 4.5 pitching strikeouts. He is pitching pretty deep in the game. 6 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings, 5, 5, 5. Pitching consistently over his last 3 over 90 pitches per game. I believe he started the season a little bit on the injured list, or he had the off season. Was injured a little bit, but also the Toronto Blue Jays are striking out, I think, more than people think as well. And I think the line of 4.5 for Michael Kopech here is very, very generous. Really, really like this play as well. So those are the 4 pitching plays that I like in tonight's MLB slate. Nestor Cortez over 17.5 pitching outs. Kyle Wright over 5.5 strikeouts. Hunter Green over 5.5 strikeouts. And Michael Kopech over 4.5 strikeouts. So 3 strikeout plays, all of the over, which hopefully they can all hit. And then Nestor Cortez over 17.5 pitching outs. And then finally, the last play that I want to add to this line, I'm really coming down to 3 of them. And we'll just go through it. I think I'm going to end up picking one here, but it's going to either be Paul Goldschmidt. You can see here, obviously, been raking Paul Goldschmidt. Let's see what his, I think it was hitter fantasy score. Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt hitter fantasy score is 7.5. I mean, he's just been going crazy. He had a home run he had a double, 2 walks, a run scored. He had I think his hitter fantasy score was what was it yesterday? 13. He's been hitting the ball extremely well. Also, Mookie Betts, I think, will have a bounce back game after, he messed up a lot of people's lines last night. I think a lot of people were smashing the Mookie Betts over 1.5 total bases, and he did let us down. But I think he comes back, and, I think the Dodgers as a whole play a lot better tonight. So you could either take Paul Goldschmidt, the Mookie Betts hitter fantasy score. I think I've decided I like it a little bit more than total bases, only because if he walks, sometimes these pitchers, and I think we saw that yesterday with the Pirates, they weren't even throwing to him. They were trying to avoid throwing Mookie strikes, high fastballs, that he's been really taking advantage of. So hitter fantasy score is a little bit better because if he does walk and he scores a run, that adding to the hitter fantasy score. And then also I really like the Marcus Semien total bases under. This would be an under here for Marcus Semien. He just hasn't been hitting the ball. I guess he's been hitting all right as of late, right? 1 hit, a double, a 1 hit, 1 hit, 1 hit. But I like the total bases here for Marcus Semien. Really just deciding between all 3 here. I think I'm going to end up going, honestly, with the Paul Goldschmidt. I think you can't go wrong with him at 7.5 hitter fantasy score. This game is coming up soon, by the way, so 2 hours from the time of me recording this video. So we're going to find out early on if we're hitting on this Paul Goldschmidt hitter fantasy score. So those are my 5 plays that I like tonight in the MLB slate. Again, you can decide between those last 3 that I gave you, Semien, Mookie Betts, and Paul Goldschmidt. But I like these 4 pitching props, and then the Paul Goldschmidt over 7.5 hitter fantasy score. Let me know in the comments what you guys feel about these plays. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and as always, have a great day.